now listening to the 11th episode now. I just wanted to do a real quick podcast speaking about social media and everything that is going on within the system of social media. So, a few weeks back, Facebook has determined certain individuals as inappropriate and hate mongers and just not good for their platform. So if we revert this back to, let's say let's say the 1960s, around when Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Kwame Nkrumah and certain other individuals during the 1960s, when America was trying to silence these people in a way that to where they couldn't be heard. Also, with that, around that time, there was certain legislation that was going through, so we could have the rights to vote and the rights to, and I would say African Americans at that time could have the rights to vote, and just our civil rights in general, because we were basically being oppressed and not a part of this society. They wanted to push us out. We had our own water fountains, bathrooms. We had to go to the back of the building. If we were going to a restaurant to get served, we had to go to the upper balcony of the movie theater in order to watch movies, stuff like that. And I will say that within this time, with the social media silencing, or the cancel culture within a whole, they're also doing that to Louis Farrahkhan, which Facebook and Instagram has determined that they weren't going to allow him to have social media page anymore, or just social media period. And who's some other people? A guy named Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy type guy, and he's like real hard on government and cracking secrets of what's going on behind the scenes of what the news doesn't show us and what the government doesn't tell us. He's done countless films. He's done so many works. He's interviewed certain African American leaders or speakers, such as Louis Farrahkhan, Professor Griff, and a few others. I would say, with the whole silencing of these people, that I would say it's wrong, because if we aren't in a society where free speech isn't determined to be as written as it is in the Constitution, then we basically don't have free speech. Because if we look back 5 years ago, and everything I just said before I'm about to make this statement correlates with what has been going on. We've seen, let's say 3 to 5 years ago, countless news reports of African Americans being slain by police officers. Nothing different from the 1960s on back. So, basically national lynchings on television and the internet. So, by now silencing these people what are you basically telling us? That if we have indifferent type of mental, let me not say mental, if we have a different way of thinking to where we want to project it so other people that think like us is being silenced, then how is it that free speech is something that we can go off of that is viable to the American people? Now, you got to remember, these people have millions and millions and millions of followers of people who look up to them. So how's it any different from someone that is not being heard within a sense of them being silencing? And the one thing I do want to get off my chest is this whole cancel culture thing. I never agreed with it in the first place. Because number one, the one thing that struck a chord in me with this whole cancel culture was when everyone was up in arms of canceling Gucci for a sweater that they had produced that had a monkey face on it. Everybody was all in an uproar, like, yeah, cancel Gucci, we're not wearing Gucci no more. To say, let's cancel a product that's very expensive, in a sense, to where the people who are buying it are mostly, you know, your entertainment folks, sports figures, and then, you know, I would say probably political parties, the higher echelons, the wealthy, the rich, stuff like that. And then to come down, to dwindle down to the impoverished people of the world who may have a way to buy these products. How's it any different from you telling somebody cancel this, you know, this product? Now, I'm not defending Gucci at all, because I don't wear Gucci. I personally don't buy high expensive things unless it has something that I'll be able to use. So if it's an expensive computer where it's better than my computer and I can do more on that expensive computer than what I could on a computer that I have now, yes, I'll buy it. Because if it's better, has better features, better stuff that I can do with it to help me out with what I want to do, such as this podcast, then I'll buy it. But as far as like a clothing brand where you only get a few uses out of it and that's it, that's not something that I say that I'm down to cancel. I just don't wear it. Like, and plus they're not really taking a hit anyway. Like, gotta remember, this company is worth millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars. So by a little percentage of their customers not buying their product anymore, they're not taking a hit. So what do you have to prove at the end of the day? So some people were also saying, with this whole cancel culture thing, cancel Farrahkhan. Now, there was a campaign, and there still is a campaign going on, where it says hashtag I am Farrahkhan. And I would say hashtag I am Farrahkhan. He is somebody that I look to within my life when I was trying to search for what I wanted to know about the truth. He was somebody that said it no holds barred. And that's somebody that I looked up to. So for people to come out of their mouths and say, cancel Farrahkhan because he's a hate monger, he's an anti-Semite, he doesn't like Jewish people, he's not about this. He downs women and stuff like that. Any of his speeches, he's never said any of this stuff. It might have sounded like it, but if you do your research about what he's talking about and speaking about, you would know that he's not down in anybody that he's talking about. Now, does he have his opinions on certain things? Yeah, most people do. All people do. They have their opinions about everything. But is it enough to cancel somebody as if they don't exist anymore? And that's one thing I have a problem with when it comes to cancel culture. You're saying cancel. It could be some people that say cancel Marcus. Cancel Marcus speaks. How can you cancel something that you don't have control over? You can't control something that is not yourself. Now, I know usually I talk about relationships and how to better your relationships and what not to do in relationships, but this all correlates. The one lesson I learned from a family member of mine and an ex-girlfriend of mine: you can only control what you can control, which is yourself. You can't control nothing around you. Like, you can't say, "Oh, I wish it wasn't hot today," or "I wish it wasn't raining." You can't control that. The weather is the weather. The conditions of outside is the conditions of outside. Deal with it or stay in the house. That's all you can do. Control yourself. Now, I know everybody is in a collective now, and it's never been like this. It's never been like this at all. We can go on the internet, tweet something, post a picture, post a video, and millions of people to billions of people can see it within a second of you uploading it. Now, it's good to have groupthink because now everyone can be on the same page and the same mindset. But when is it a detriment to where misfollowed people are being are being misled by people that are misled? You can't have a misled person have followers, because then they'll mislead them, and then you'll have followers that don't know their head from their ass. So that's one thing I have a problem with this whole social injustice shit that's on social media, trying to cancel shit. You can't control shit that's not yourself. Just leave it alone. This is not what you want to do. It's not something that you want to like. I basically, and I want to make a plug real fast. I was watching a podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience. I don't know what podcast it was of his, but I know it happened probably about a month and a half ago, maybe, where he had the I think it was the chairman and somebody else that's a part of Twitter on his podcast, and he basically was asking the hard-hitting questions, and he also had a co-host with him asking some questions too, because that person also has a problem with how Twitter runs their business when it comes to silencing people that has a voice or whatever. Like, they basically, it's another podcast that I listen to called Corey Holcomb's 5150 Show. Corey Holcomb spoke a few times about Twitter canceling his account because of the things that he was saying on there. And he's a comedian, so half the shit that comes out of his mouth isn't something that he believes in the first place. Some things are, some things are. Some things are just for shock value. Some things are for to make fun of stuff. Like he's had countless people come at him and try to basically protest him of the shit that he says. I've been to several Corey Holcomb shows. There's nothing that he says that isn't something that he's been through or something that he hasn't experienced. That isn't his truth. And by me going to these shows and half the shit that he's saying, I can be like, oh, I've been through that also. So I can laugh at that too. I can basically laugh at myself by going through the certain things that he's talking about. So you silence him also, because as we know, comedians are here to be funny. And comedians are here to make people laugh. So with this whole you can't say this, you can't say that type of shit, you basically box and put people who are speaking in a sense to make people laugh in a corner and in a box. Operate by these sets of rules, and this is how you do it. You just left an artist without paint and a paintbrush. You want him to make art with just a canvas, with nothing else. What else do I do to try to make art out of? I don't have the materials that I need to make a beautiful portrait. So I digress. And that was a Marcus Speak rant. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm gonna come at you with another one, because it's not over. I'll come at y'all with another podcast, another full-length podcast as usual. Please like, comment, and subscribe as usual, and hit that bell icon so you can get notified of each video. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. And also, tell your family members also. This is Marcus Speaks. I am Marcus, and thank you for listening.